Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are joined here with a great friend of mine. She's been in sales and customer relations for over 20 years. She also does mentoring. A great friend of mine. Everyone, welcome to the show, Jennifer Boyle.
Woo! Thank you.
Jen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, okay, I know a little bit about you. You are in software sales, is that correct?
Client success for a software company. So close.
So how did you get into that?
Google Jobs.
Really?
Yes, I was looking for jobs that were 100% remote.
Oh, so you were remote before the pandemic?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Now, are you still remote now, or are you transitioning
100%.
back?
100% remote.
Really?
The company is based out of Montreal. I've been there once, traveled a couple times, but no, I'm 100% remote.
That's amazing. Awesome. So what did you go to school for then?
Public relations and public speaking.
So does that help in sales, do you feel
Actually,
like?
it does.
Really?
Because you're always client facing. So being able to speak clearly, make sure you get your point across, absolutely.
Now, Jen, do me a favor. I'm in sales, obviously, and a lot of people don't understand that there's a big difference between sales and client services. Can you kind of explain what the difference is in the two?
Sure. For sales, I consider that more of a hunting role where you need to go out and find the business. You're doing the cold calls, you're doing the follow-up, you're doing everything you can, you're putting the proposals together, you're having all these meetings, you're doing all the groundwork, all the research to find all of the new prospects.
Sure.
Client success is more of a farming role. And it's actually exactly what I was looking for. It's what you want. It's like the pre-sale and the post-sale.
Okay.
Because the pre-sale is the beginning. The post-sale is the long-term relationships. It's the getting to know the clients, making sure that they come to you before anyone else. You're there to meet all of their needs and say, hey, this is a new product we have. You should try it. Oh my gosh, that's great. So it's the long-term relationships where you are the person who, or the company/person, you are there to grow with them, make them successful, and it's a win-win all the way around.
So the big question on that is, do you still get commission?
If I meet certain KPIs, yes, I do.
You do still get commission in the farming roles?
Not a commission, but more of a bonus. You get rewarded for the extra work you do, so yes.
Okay, but avoiding the cold calls.
Yes.
That sounds amazing.
That, and I did sales for so many years, did the cold calls, the knocking on the door to door, getting out. And I said, you know what, I've done this for a long time. It's great, but I'm ready for something bigger.
Well, and for me, when people talk about sales, a lot of times they'll hear, I don't like being told no. I mean, I'm thin-skinned. That's never been the problem for me. When I think about sales, it's been the nerve to ask a stranger out of the blue to buy my product. Like how, how do you feel like, did you have to work up that nerve, or have you always been good with?
The worst you're going to get is a no. You get a yes, you're like, get all excited.
Right. But so it's never been anything like making the cold calls and.
The worst you're going to do is say no, next.
Yeah.
And then maybe do follow up in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever.
So you still follow up even when they're.
Some of the people that have said no in the beginning are sometimes your best clients in the end.
So basically, it sounds like it's relationship building.
Yeah, it's all it is. I mean, if they could buy the same thing from 5 different people, they're going to pick the person they like the most.
Absolutely.
If it's the exact same thing.
Sure. Do you feel that you need to be passionate about your product, or super knowledgeable in order to sell it, or can you be successful without that passion?
Well, the funny thing is the software company that I work for is extremely technical. I am not a technical person in any way, shape, or form. But if they have questions, I could pull in the resources that are
Sure.
to get the answers. And I always say, I'm not the expert, but I will find you the person that is.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather give credibility instead of saying, oh, sure.
I know everything.
Because I don't, and I'll be the first to admit it. But I do know the experts, or I can pull them in, and they can get you the answers you're looking for.
Sure.
Because I'd rather be 100% transparent.
Right, and not
Definitely.
sound like the.
I'm not gonna.
The genius.
I'm not gonna throw a pile their way,
So, but you don't think that you have to actually love a product to be able to be successful selling it?
Do you know what? I think you need to believe in it, because if you don't believe in it, it's gonna come through.
I could see that. that you have to truly believe it's a good fit for that person.
Right. I mean, because how can you in good conscience do something that if you're not going to sell it to your family or your friends, how can you do it to somebody else?
That's a good
That
point.
is so true.
People can though. People do. But I don't know
Everybody's got
how
their
long
thing.
they last in the business,
Right.
though.
I mean, I just think you have to truly believe and it comes through all the way around.
That makes sense.
Definitely, definitely. Now, I hear that you do mentoring.
I have, yes.
Really? Can you tell us about that?
I was approached a couple years ago for a program at Huntley High School that was starting called the Incubator Program.
Okay.
And what it is, it's like an entrepreneurial class for juniors and seniors.
How cool is that?
And someone asked if I would be a mentor.
Very nice. Now, how does that program work? Is it something where, you know, you meet with a certain group of students, or do you just give them curriculum, or is it a
Do
combination?
you have one student? Are you like big sister?
I had a group of 4 boys, and I had them for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So what it was is I went to the Huntley High School a couple years ago, and I interviewed the boys, and they interviewed me. There was a whole group of people, and there was a whole bunch of different mentors, and they picked us, or we said pick them, to make sure it was a good fit.
Oh, wow.
So these 4 boys that just graduated, one of them had a vision problem. So he was very vision impaired. So they were trying to figure out, and they even made a prototype, sent it out, had it tested. I was so proud of them. I was so proud of them. But sometimes you had to push them because
Teenagers.
teenagers.
Right.
But they came up with this product where it was like a Braille keyboard for texting.
Wow.
That's
And they actually got
awesome.
it tested at the Lighthouse Foundation, I think, in Rockford. They had it, they went from an idea, business plan, prototype, all the way to getting it tested.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
And it was 2 years. They started as juniors, and I made it through with them until seniors. The pandemic kind of squished it at the end, but
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it squished everything.
but it was a great group of kids. And sometimes I would just sit there, and they're in class, and they're like, I'm like, okay, I'm here.
Right.
Let's get
Time
this
is money.
done. What
Let's
is
go.
your homework? Let's get this done. Who have you called? What have you done? How can I pull resources in for you? They were asking about patents. I knew a patent attorney. Someone else did. I mean, it's showing them about stepping out of your comfort zone, thinking out of the box, networking,
Huge.
and just kind of the roadmap of manufacturing. It's not, oh, we're just going to go make something. It's, okay, you need plans. How much is it going to cost? What's labor? So it's all these different things, and it's to follow these boys through. I was actually really proud of them.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be so impressed. Watching a high schooler do anything to
Right.
completion
Very
is like, wow.
And I think some other groups out of the high school actually have turned into businesses, like not this past couple of years, but I think it's been pretty successful.
Now, how many different groups do they have?
I think the class had probably 10 groups.
Oh,
and
wow.
there was a bunch of different things. Another group that I was really proud of was that these 4 boys, who I think were pretty 4 popular athletic type kids, they said, you know what, we want to make a program so everybody feels included in the school and no one feels like a castaway.
Aw,
And I was
that's
like,
really
oh,
nice.
I'm so proud.
Right.
Like a good parenting and everything, just good kids.
Yeah.
But it's just the things that they were thinking that you would never think they would think of.
Right.
Yeah.
Very proud.
So now kind of to piggyback on that, so a lot of the kids kind of went right out of high school into creating businesses. Do you feel in sales, or I mean in business in general, do you feel that a degree is necessary? I know you have one.
You know what? Not necessarily.
No?
I don't think so. I think it's how you hone your skills. Like, say some people, it could be anything. If some people started entrepreneurs in their own businesses at 10, 12, 15, sometimes I don't think if the piece of paper makes a difference if you have the skills and you're sometimes even you're self-taught. Sometimes you're better off. Some of my friends that are the best, she was like a VP of HR. She had like maybe 17 hours of college credit. And she just started at the bottom and worked her way up.
And just worked hard.
And she worked hard, long hours, and she did extremely well.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good to hear, especially because college isn't available for everybody,
Right.
so
Right.
it's awesome.
Definitely. This was a great segment. I wish we had more time. But you're not going anywhere, right?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, for everyone else, we are going to take another quick break. And when we come back, Jen is going to join us where we're going to have some great conversation on a surprise topic from Kristen.
A thirsty conversation.
A thirsty conversation. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We're here with Jennifer Boyle, and we are going to have some thirsty conversations. So, tell us, Kristen, what are we talking about?
Well, I was curious with Jennifer, with your experience, you are in sales, your business, software. Typically, those are industries that have been dominated by men. You've been very successful in all of them. Do you feel as a woman that you've come up against challenges that men have not faced? Do you feel that companies have helped women in business or possibly hindered them? You as a female in business, how did you do it?
I just didn't stop.
Yeah.
Do you know what? In the company I'm at, I have to say they're very good at being diverse and respecting people for their skills. And that's where they go. I mean, we have product owners that are women. You know, it's not about what you are. It's what can you do.
So as far as you know, again with businesses and in sales, have you noticed any difference in, like, you know, maybe paternity leave, maternity leave? Has that affected sales for people having to, you know, go have a baby and then come back? Have they lost clients?
Nowadays, I don't think so.
Really?
I would say maybe 20 years ago that would be the case. But I think with all the forward thinking that's been around, and I think the attention that's been brought to everything, it's made a big difference and a positive impact.
Yeah, I guess the one thing I'm kind of curious about, obviously my son's, you know, much older now, but I know years ago when he was a baby, you know, it was kind of hard for a man to get time off. It was kind of
Yes.
frowned on. And, you know, I'm just kind of wondering, has that changed, you know, from what you guys saw over the years?
Do you know what I can say? I'm sorry, I hope I did not cut you off.
You did, and I am
Oh,
very
no,
mad.
So sorry. And because the company that I work for is owned, and they're managed out of Canada. Do you know that they get women get a year off? If you have a baby, you get a year off paid.
Wow.
And men get paternity, and it's quite a few months.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I mean, and I was just floored because I got 6 weeks both times for both
Yeah.
my kids. And then I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
Well, you know, and for a long time, I think that has been the maternity leave has not been to bond with your baby. It's been
Right.
to recover from the procedure.
I agree.
And so now people are getting 12 weeks. I mean, it's.
I wish I would have had 12
I
weeks.
would- yes.
I had 6. My kids are 15 and 17. And at 6 weeks, I had to go back to work because you don't want to lose your job.
Right.
I mean, I don't remember most of it because I was.
Yeah,
you
you're
have a
crazy.
newborn.
You're sleep deprived.
You're very, but you know, you make it through. But I wish that other countries maybe thought like Canada did because they're more family focused instead of numbers driven.
Yeah, I think it's also probably depending on whether you work for a corporation or for a small
that is true,
mom and
too.
pop
That is
type.
true.
Because I've worked for both.
Yeah.
And both of them definitely have their advantages, don't get me wrong. But, you know, as far as flexibility and stuff, the smaller companies, the smaller, more family-owned companies kind of make up for maybe not having the great benefits and stuff as the larger companies. But, you know, when you look at the freedom to be able to spend time with family, you know, you really can't, in my opinion, put a price tag on
Absolutely
that. You know.
not.
That's invaluable.
Well, and honestly, though, my experience has been the opposite when it
Really?
comes to corporations versus family-owned businesses. I mean, yes, benefits haven't been as good, and I mean they're so small that they
Yeah.
can't lose you for that period
True.
of time.
Yeah,
and
that's
so I mean that. For me, anytime that it was always a big deal. Like if there was an emergency and I was at a small business, they're like, but we need you. You are the one person at the company
Yeah,
that can
that's
do
true.
this. Whereas, you know, when I worked at a larger corporation, I had to email someone and I was out the door and, you know, someone else was filling my shoes
Yeah.
a few minutes later. So, yeah. But as far as, I lost my train of thought. It's, I really like your shoes. And I was so that's how the conversation devolved.
Okay.
Hey, you never know what we talk about on this
Right.
show, so hey.
You know, I'm never not up for a conversation.
Not up for conversation about shoes, anyways. Okay, so back to women in sales. Have you noticed any preferential treatment towards any other genders, or are there any? I've had friends who've been treated differently by customers by being women. Have you experienced this at all?
Probably, but pretty sure I blew them off or didn't call back
You
because I
didn't call-
didn't think of it. I'm like, you know what, no.
You're just that nasty
I'm like,
person.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it hurt the business, and I hope it didn't who I was working for, but really, I just don't know.
There was a woman who was fairly famous that she created a fake assistant that was male, and to deal with the customers who were being very combative, and so she would then have her male assistant email them back, you know, and signed as Matt.
Oh, wow.
And it was
That's brilliant,
She would get a
actually.
different response, and oh well, the expert has chimed in now, and she was able to come across, you know, to be, she was more believable. They didn't question her
That's
expertise,
so sad.
and
Yeah.
so it was fairly popular thing. So I mean, we can Google it and find it, but
That's actually pretty sad to even have
Yeah,
to do
that
that,
is
though.
pretty.
Oh.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
brilliant and kind of sad at the same time.
Yeah.
But that, you know what? But that's thinking out of the box.
Oh yeah, I mean she solved a problem, absolutely, and she's laughing all the way to the bank. But
Yeah,
but at the
that's
same time, that it can only be done remotely.
Right.
That in person, you might just get the door slammed in your face, and there's no way around it. So
Yeah. I mean, I guess looking at sales, because I've been in sales a long time too, over time, you kind of get to know who your real customers are. Because your core customers, if you treat them right, you take care of them,
Right.
you don't try and gouge them or anything like that, they're going to stay with you a long
You
time.
just be fair. You treat them the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
It's the basic principle.
Exactly. And it's amazing how many people I know have been in sales a very long time and still do not
don't
know
get it.
that.
really,
It's amazing, yes.
so I mean, ask both of you. What are some mistakes that you think a new salesperson? I mean, what are the big ones that you're like, you absolutely do not do this?
Don't be obnoxious and in somebody's face all the time thinking they're going to
Yes. Yes.
buy. Just go,
Okay.
hi, here's my stuff. Don't you want it? Be like, I already have it. Why would I want to buy from you?
I see. Okay, so
I
just
mean-
being too much.
Just don't be overpowering.
Yeah.
I mean, just think it, instead of the other person going to their door, what if somebody came to your door? How would you be? Hold up the mirror and just see what are you throwing out there.
So you have to be smooth.
Smooth or just
I'd be
genuine?
so bad at sales.
Smooth operate. No, but I just think you have to be genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if not, the fakeness is going to come through.
Oh, yeah. And I think the other thing, too, you have to listen. A lot of people don't get it, but if you listen long enough to your customer,
They're gonna tell you
they'll
exactly what they want.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They'll tell you even how to sell them if you listen.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen so many people literally talk themselves out of sales because they
Just
just
shake your head at them. You're
they
like,
just
really?
keep going. They won't stop. I've
Really?
seen that many times.
So when you say they keep going, is it they're
They
talking up features that a person is clearly not wanting, or what?
They're trying to sell them instead of solve a problem. That's really what a person, when they're buying, they're solving some type of a problem. It could be a large problem, it could be a small problem, but you have to understand what are they wanting, what are they looking for. Because, for example, if someone is looking for maintenance because they're having issues with something that's constantly going down, and you're constantly telling them about the great seat colors and the options and stuff,
They don't
you're
care.
not listening to them, and that pisses them off. That to me,
You're wasting their time.
exactly.
Is there a good, again, for sales, is there a good opening question? Is there a good, like, to get that kind of ball rolling and to really get a conversation going?
What is your pain?
What is your pain point? Would you agree with that?
That's one of them, and the other thing is that, tell me about your business, tell me about yourself. I'll lead in with that, and then from there, they'll start. It's amazing. They'll start telling you what their pains are. I really like this, but this kind of bothers me. And then when you go, oh, okay, well, tell me how does that affect you? And then you start peeling back the onions a little bit, and now you get to the core root of what they really want.
And then you have to say, and this is how I can solve that problem.
This is how I can help you get there.
Exactly.
Genius.
Wow, this was such a great conversation. We had so much fun with you, Jen.
Ah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
This was
I
good.
was a little nervous, but I'm good.
Were you?
Hey, we're fun. Don't worry
I
about
know
it.
you
We're
are.
good.
I know you are.
Welcome back, everyone. We had a great show I definitely want to reach out and thank Jennifer Boyle for being on the show. We had a great conversation with her.
Very interesting.
Very interesting, very funny. Learned a whole lot about sales and customer relations.
Yes. Definitely check us out. We are on TikTok as of recently. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. And as you know, we are on YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us at the Thirsty Conversation.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.